Hey, hello, friends. You are welcome to my pastor's meeting room. This time, we are so glad to interview a famous person like this is Dr. Pat Blewett, who is the dean at the Tozer Seminary in Simpson University. Hey, Pat, say hi to the people.
Hello, folks. Good to
Uh,
connect up with you.
yeah, exactly. So my channel is like to share faith to the audience and even non-believers to let them to get to know about what we believe and what is faith it is. But this time when I come to Redding, California, and go back to the university to the seminary. So I have my new ID card right here at Simpson. And Pat, you have very good looking like a t-shirt. It's a green color t-shirt. It's for the color of Tozer, right?
Right.
And well, when I talked with you earlier, so I just have an interest to know, hey, how about Pat? Have you ever had an interview to introduce yourself? So it is quite fun, right? So I'm not sure whether how many people, even students, even colleagues at Simpsons, know about your story and how you grew up and how you become a believer and how you become a professor,
Mm.
right now. So you were a professor at CIU, as I know. So when I did my doctorate degree at CIU. So you were the professor at the time, but I didn't get a chance to get to know you because I have a lot of work to
Yeah.
do. I have my professors in counseling in the school of ministry, so I didn't get a chance to get to know you personally like this. But right now we are I'm under your supervision for for the Chinese cohort for the TOESL 30. So we'll be introducing the Tozer 30 later on, but just I want to get to know a little bit about you.
Sure.
Hey, can you tell us about something about your story?
So my story starts off. Was raised on a farm
Oh,
in Idaho. So I'm
you're
I'm a farm
Idaho
boy.
in the farm.
Yeah.
Wow.
We
So
raised
what the farm was look like? So do you have any animals? And then
we had quite a bit of cattle. We had about 100 head of cattle, 150 head of
oh
cattle. We
wow,
raised wheat and barley and peas
I see.
and lentils and
What was it, a large thing or a large farm or a small one?
um, in that part of the country, it was relatively small.
I see.
But yeah, because there was a number of neighbors who were larger than us. But
Okay.
it represented my dad was his father had run a farm.
I see.
And
I see.
I grew up in the house that was my grandmother's homestead.
Oh, I
So
see.
it goes way back there. So
Yeah.
grew up there. My dad found the Lord when about the time I was born.
I see. Before you were born,
Yeah,
so
right
your
after
parents were Christians at the time, right?
my mom was. My mom grew up in Canada
I see.
and was involved with Salvation Army up there. And then when
Oh,
she came down to the States, met my dad. They fell in love. They
I
got
see.
married, and dad wasn't a believer. He didn't want anything to
I
do
see.
with it because
Only
of
your mom
yeah, my
at the
mom
time.
was.
Yeah.
So then, when about the time I was born, I was a third son. I'm the
I see.
youngest of three.
Oh, the youngest one.
Yeah, I'm the
I see.
youngest. I'm the baby of the family. And
So
so
you had a elder brother and
two
sisters?
two brothers older.
Oh, I see.
One was
All
nine.
boys.
Yes, the three of us. One was 9 years older than me, and one was 13 years older than me.
Wow.
So I was the youngest.
I see.
And somewhere in the midst of that, mom and dad, mom convinced dad that he needed to go to church on at least on Easter. So this
Oh,
was on Palm Sunday before Easter,
I
about the
see.
time I was born. Um, and my dad had a pretty strong anti-Christian.
Oh, really?
He because the family was so involved with religion, he was going to no, I don't want to do this.
Oh, I see.
Everybody else is doing it.
Yeah.
So he goes to Palm Sunday service. The pastor preached a gospel message,
I see.
and he goes, "Oh my goodness, this is what I need."
Okay.
And so led him to the Lord. Dad didn't say anything that week on Palm Sunday. Came back for Easter Sunday and went forward
Wow.
to make a public proclamation of his faith,
Proclamation. Yeah.
and for the community,
I see.
everyone was just shocked that my dad would do this. I mean, this was about as big a miracle as you could find in our farming community.
So, is he at the time, is he an atheist or whatever?
He had just seen a lot of abuse in the church.
Oh, I
So he
see.
just didn't want any
It is a bad testimony.
testimonies, and he just didn't want anything to be around it. So that became part of it. My dad was one of 14 brothers and sisters.
Wow.
And so a number of them, his mother wanted them all to be saved. She passed away. She was sick with cancer. And it was down to the last two, my dad and another one. And so the rest of the brothers and sisters were putting pressure on.
Wow.
And my dad's response is, no, you're not going to pressure me to do this. Until it's real, I'm not going to do this. And so this would have been 20 years later when all of a sudden the Lord speaks, Holy Spirit moves in his life, and he goes, oh, this is real. I need to respond. So that became what happened. So that's about what time I was born. By the time I was grade school, 7 or 8 years later, my dad was now on the church board. And so all of my growing up years, I only knew my dad as a member of the church board.
Wow.
And so it was amazing time.
Wow. You had a very good family background, right? So to become a believer. So is it because of that you were, born born at a Christian family, and then so what makes you to become, a believer because of that? Is it?
When I was 9,
okay,
I went to we went to church all the time, but it was summer camp.
I see.
There was a kids camp for all of us as young kids to go to camp, and all the fun of everything that takes place at camp. So I went to camp. I have no idea who the speaker was or what he talked about or anything, but all I know is
you went there for playing, right?
I went there to play. I mean, I was going to have some fun.
Just like every kid.
That's exactly right. Just exactly what we do. And so Thursday night of that week, which is almost the end of the week, there was a theme song that we'd been singing all week, but all of a sudden on Thursday night we're singing this, and as this 9-year-old, I'm going, heaven came down and glory filled my soul.
I know this song.
Oh, what a wonderful
heaven came down and glory fills my soul.
It was a John Peterson number. Oh, what a wonderful, wonderful day I will never forget in terms of finding the Lord. And I'm singing along at the end of the service, singing the song, and it was like, wait a second, I don't know what I'm singing about.
Okay.
And so at the end of that service, the speaker and the camp director says, if you're not sure what this means, you need to stick around after the service and interact with one of the counselors.
Wow.
So I did. And a guy named, I can't remember his name right off the top, but he was a nuclear physicist from Washington State University who was there counseling for a week of kids camp. He did that every year. And so that week, he led me to Christ.
Oh, wow.
It was just a wonderful time. And it was an incredible time. So then the next night, we're now a night later. I knew Jesus.
I see.
But now the speaker who was the camp director said, now, what's your commitment to Christ? How committed are you? What's your sanctification look like? And so I was like, oh, I need to get this figured out. This is a good thing. So I stayed after and talked with a lady named Alta Hill. And so she, at that point, I was burdened for the other kids in my school. Do they know the Lord? If they don't, who's going to share with them? So at age 9,
at the time you were a new believer. And then you kept, think about that thing.
And so that's.
And how old were you at the time?
That would have been 9.
9. Wow.
So that second night, I do know what the speaker spoke on then. It was Isaiah 6:8.
I see.
Whom shall I send and who will go for us?
Wow.
And the Lord said, here it says, send me. And that was my response was, okay, I'll go, I'll do. So Altus and I were talking. She says, so are you willing to go anywhere, do whatever the Lord wants of you? Are you ready to just obey?
Wow.
And it was like, oh, yeah, I am. But that cemented in that first week of new life, this relationship and the ongoing challenge of sanctification and following him. So by the time I made it into junior high and high school, youth group and all the things that we did with things, and I went back every year after that to camp from that year on, I never went back as a camper. I always went back
Oh,
as a counselor. I went back working with other kids.
wow, wow,
And so that was the fun of the whole thing.
wow. And well, later, well, how was your calling to become a
Yeah.
pastor?
So I didn't want to be a pastor.
But you
No,
are.
I didn't.
You're a professor right now,
No,
right? And you train pastor as well.
when I was in high school, my senior year of high school, I had a nomination to the United States Military Academy, West Point,
I see.
and also to the U.S. Air Force Academy in
You
Colorado
did that,
Springs.
did you?
I had both nominations, and
Oh,
I have to pass a physical and some other
yeah,
things in
yeah,
order to
yeah,
get
yeah, yeah,
in.
yeah, yeah.
And I thought, okay, I will go do that, and then I will come back after I become a general officer,
Yep.
and I'll come back to my state and I'll run for politics and I'll become a U.S. senator. I had it all
Maybe
mapped
you're
out.
running for the president,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I could have done that, but the Senate would be the first step towards
Okay.
these kinds of things.
That makes sense.
So my life was pretty well mapped out.
Yep.
And God said, "No, I don't want to do that.
All right.
I got other plans for you."
Okay.
And a dear friend of mine who had been one of those
But the Lord
counselors,
told you.
yeah, the
Yep.
Lord says, no, you don't need to do that. Why would you want to stoop to be president
Mm-hmm.
if you could be a doorkeeper in the house of the Lord?
Mm.
And it was like, no, I really don't want to be a doorkeeper, but I guess I'll go wherever. If I promise that I go wherever and do whatever,
Wow.
I probably should be obedient.
Yeah.
And so my senior year of high school, I'm working my way through it. I
Yeah.
had the nominations, working on all of that.
Yeah.
And my last football game, my senior year of high school, I blew my left knee out.
Oh,
And pinched nerves and all kinds of stuff. I ended up having to have surgery, had to put my knee back,
wow.
which
Wow.
disqualified me from both academies
Oh.
because I couldn't do military service at that point.
Oh my.
And so I didn't know what the Lord was doing.
Yeah.
I
Were you disappointed about that?
disappointed. Well, I was more confused than disappointed.
Confused. Yeah. Yeah.
Confused would probably be the word for it.
Hey,
And
Lord,
so
how will you lead my future, right?
yeah. And so it was, I guess I just need to relax.
Yeah.
And God's going to have to put something else in front of me. If I'm not going to go to the academies, what else is there?
Yeah.
So I had scholarships to 4 or 5 different
Mm.
universities. I figured that I'd go do business and political science and those kinds of things. And I had a friend who had flunked out of a Bible college in Montana.
Oh, I see.
Didn't make it. And so he sat down with me one day and said, well, if the Lord wants to use you in other ways, he doesn't have to give you these big things. Why don't you just relax and have him direct your path?
Yeah.
So I thought that sounded reasonable. So I said, so where did you go to school? I went to this little Bible college in Montana. Tell me about it. No, I'm not going to tell you about it. And the more he didn't tell me, the more attracted I was to find out more about it. I mean, it was just one of those kinds of things. And pretty soon I realized I need to know more about this. So by the time summer came around, after I graduated from high school, I had written them, and 1st of August, I got a letter from them saying I was accepted to go there. So I was one of a half a dozen schools. Yeah. And I thought, well, maybe if I take a year of Bible, then I can figure out what I want to do since I'm not.
So you went to the Bible college at the time?
So I went to the Bible college for a year.
Okay.
And I got there and fell in love with it and stayed for 4. Stayed my entire time there. Met Jana there. We got married after we graduated from college. And then I went on to seminary after that in Portland. But it was this waiting on the Lord to kind of guide me. It wasn't that he gave me a vocation to do. The calling was more of, am I willing to follow him no matter what?
Yes.
And if I could follow him no matter what, then I could end up being in the center of his will, no matter where I was.
Yeah. This is talking about surrender and submission.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, this is really great.
So that's where we were. We went to seminary, spent 3 years in Portland. Yeah. And then began to do a little bit of teaching, went back to the Bible college again, worked in the administration there for a couple of years. Yeah. And the school was in financial trouble and ended up closing. I actually left a year before it closed. Yeah. But it was one of those things where it was like, no, it's not about where I want to be. It's about me just following. We had looked at missions. We had looked at missions in Central America. Yeah. Had accepted.
Are you
from the
still
mission
living in
board.
Idaho at the time?
I was.
Yeah.
But at that point, when we got to that, the Lord didn't open the door to go to missions. So it was like, okay, I'm going to be in missions. That's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Since then, I've been in 25 different countries of the world.
Oh,
So I've been all over the place, and God keeps me moving around and those kinds of things. But it's not me having an agenda. It's me being able to relax and just leave it open for God to use me wherever He wants to take me.
amen.
And that's kind of how life has been.
Yeah, yeah. But you were teaching at the seminary, like, so is it CIU is the first seminary you taught?
No.
Yeah.
So I started teaching when I went back to the Bible college. I did a year, 2 years there.
And you did your PhD?
And I was still just with my master's, and I was teaching at the college and doing administration.
Yeah.
And then when we decided to leave there, it was like, okay, God, now what are we going to do? God took us into pastoral roles. We spent 15 years in pastoral.
Wow.
And during that time, I ended up in Boise, Idaho. And I just finished my Doctor of Ministry back at Western in Portland.
Okay.
And
you did your DMin first?
Yeah, I did my DMin first while I was pastoring. It was good just to continue to refine my skills.
I see.
And so I got to Boise. I was pastoring in a large church there, and I realized there was some things I didn't have in my education. And so I thought, I'll just do a little more education. I took a couple classes here or there.
I see.
And God scooped me up and put me in a program at the University of Idaho. The gentleman who was the teacher of my first course there is a believer who was radically saved. He was saved in a Baptist church.
Okay.
Spirit-filled in an assembly, it wasn't an assembly church. It was just a charismatic.
Charismatic.
and then from there had been involved in a variety of other things. And he wasn't from the church that I was part of, but he knew I was a pastor in such and such a church.
I see.
And so I went there. I was going to quietly go in, do some of these courses at the university, and be done with what I needed. He said, no. He says, you need to finish this program.
I see.
And so that's when I did my doctorate at the University of Idaho. I did a PhD in education at that point.
Oh, PhD in education.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then from there, after I finished that, my mentor in seminary was now president of a university in Nebraska. And he says, why don't you come work with us, help with the administration?
Nebraska first.
So I went to Nebraska, was there for almost 10 years.
Wow.
Teaching and administrating there. And then from there, I went to South Carolina to Columbia International.
Yeah.
And so was there for 6 years.
How long have you stayed at CIU?
I was there for 6 years.
6 years.
So I did 10 years up in Nebraska, and then 6 years there, and then a lot of turnover at the time at CIU. So we had gone through 7 provosts, that's the chief academic officer, in 6 years.
I see.
And each one wanted to do things differently.
Yeah.
And I was just exhausted as a dean trying to keep track of all of that. So I thought, I got to get out of here and settle down someplace. So we went back to Nebraska to the church that I had been involved with while teaching up there. The senior pastor wanted us to come back and train the staff. It was a large church. We had 10, 15 staff members on it. So I came back and trained pastors for 2 years there.
I see.
And while there, we heard about Simpson and Tozer and things going on here, and the need for someone to come in and make peace and pull the place back together, bring some healing here. And so God just kind of scooped us off and brought us to California. California was the last place I wanted to go.
I see.
I really wasn't excited about coming to California. God, if we have to, we will, but that's not really my dream.
All right.
But you just do. You just go where God calls you.
Well, when you share about your background, so I didn't see any relationship with the Christian Missionary Alliance,
So let me give you a little bit of it. That was the
and the CNMA background that you have had before.
So my pastor growing up in that community church was CMA, even though the church was independent. It was an independent church. But his training, he actually was a graduate of Simpson.
I see.
Back in probably in the 40s or 50s, kind of.
Wow.
And so all of a sudden, as we're looking at this place, all of a sudden I realized the things that CMA stood for were the things that I was taught growing up.
Wow.
I just didn't know it.
Oh, wow.
Well,
Wow.
it's just
You
a
realize
fasting.
that
Yeah,
after that.
yeah. So then it was about moving my ordination and credentials from
Wow.
my home church into the CMA, and
Wow.
my first couple years here, we did some more things there.
Wow.
And then that opened the door for me to get more involved with CMA
Wow.
in a variety of things, both at the district level and at the national level.
Wow, wow, awesome, awesome. Wow, I'm so glad to listen to your story about how you get to, how you grew up, as a pastor and professor right here. Now you're serving as the dean at the seminary. We call it the Tozer Seminary, under the Simpson University, the big umbrella of Simpson University, right? So, can you
Which
tell?
is part of the Christian Missionary Alliance.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
And can you tell the people, how many academic programs right here at Tozer, if people they are considered to study at Simpson, so any choices they will be having, like any certificate or even
Sure.
any levels of
Sure.
educations that they may have?
So at the university level, there's about 1,000 students, whether they're online or on campus here at Simpson.
That's right, yeah.
And in the seminary is a much smaller group. We're about 100 of that. 100, 120, thereabouts. And we have certificate level programs, which is designed right now. The Tozer 30 is designed.
And, I have a poster like that, the Tozer 30. Yeah.
This particular program is designed to help individuals meet the criteria in order to become a licensed minister within the Christian Missionary Alliance.
Yeah.
So that's how it's designed.
Yeah, yeah.
We also have a Master of Arts in Ministry Leadership and a Master of Divinity degree. Both of those programs can be online or on campus.
Yeah.
And so we do that. We also have an MA in Community Counseling, Master of Arts in Community Counseling. And this one we have in two different cohorts. We have an international version of it, which is primarily directed out of Hong Kong. And then we also have a North American version that works from here on campus. And so community counseling, it's like a counseling degree, except it doesn't require state licensing. We've avoided licensure requirements because a lot of folks in ministry don't necessarily want to get caught up in governmental-based programs. So that became part of what we did here. So that's kind of our program. And just a variety of students. We've got 15, 20 undergraduate students, 15 or 20 online students here and on campus in the seminary portion. We also have about 40 students that are in Vietnam, working in North Vietnam and in the southern part of Vietnam, two different cohorts there that we're training for the MDiv. And then, of course, our MACC program in Hong Kong, working with the Hong Kong Institute of Christian Counselors, which is a fun part of our relationships. That's where David and I first got acquainted in the process.
Exactly, yeah. So when you talk about Vietnam, well, there's a good news, about the believers, and then they grew rapidly in the past 10 years or 20 years.
20 years.
20 years. It turns to right now the Christian population of the CNMA, just we're talking about only the CNMA. We are having like 1 million, you told me, right?
About 1 million believers in Vietnam, which is over twice the size of the American church, American CMA
that
church.
Is incredible.
Yeah, just really incredible what that looks like. So we keep thinking as Americans, we keep thinking about, well, we got to send folks to go be missionaries there. And my response is, we need to go ask them what they're doing and seeing if we can take what they've done and learn from them in that process.
Exactly.
In other parts
that is the Lord's work, right?
Yes, that's exactly.
we can explain the reason why that they grow to become a big number, like 1 million people.
That growth, I think, really is the result of communism and persecution in country. That helped refine those believers in a way that it purified the church in a way that has been really healthy for the church, and we're learning from it.
Yeah, wow, praise the Lord. And one more thing is about the Tozer 30. So the good news is like we have a Chinese program of the Tozer 30.
Yeah.
So if you are not really, just fluent in English, that should be fine. So we can talk right now at the Tozer 30 in Mandarin or in Cantonese. So we can do that. We are now teaching the students. We have like about number of the 10 students who are working on a program, but we are expecting more. So if you are interested in equipping yourself or to be licensing as a minister at the Christian Missionary Alliance, that you can consider this program. You can just go to me or go to Dr. Blewett. So you can email me, or so I will be give you the email address in this video so that you are able to connect with me through the email address, so that I can introduce you to the program, or we are do solely online, right? So around the world, even though you are, living in the United States or Canada or North America, or even in Asia, any other countries in Asia. So if you can speak in Mandarin or a Cantonese speaker, so you are welcome to join our online program.
Yes. And we would love to connect up with you for this kind of a program. And we've got, describe, I know this is your interview, describe the 3 or 4 of the key faculty members that are teaching in the Chinese cohort.
All right. So, we have some, super level of the professors at the cohort at the program. So one of them is me. So I'm Dr. David Yip, and we also have Dr. Abraham Chan, which is a very well-known pastor and scholar in America, and also we have Dr. Michael Wu as well, who is a very experiential Christian leaders and pastors in America of the CNMA, and also we have another pastor, Pastor William Zhang, and some other folks. So they are really, amazing people who are able to teach. And Dr. Blewett, you are one of the teachers as well. So when Dr. Blewett teaches the courses, you are having like an interpreter for you.
The interpreter, yes.
Yeah, you had it before, and you will be having like the similar things that just will be happening. And so let me introduce to you a little bit of the courses. We'll be having like different criteria. Like we'll be having like a Bible courses, like the Old Testament, New Testament, interpretation, and some other electives like the Bible and the ministry elective courses. And we have 2 theology criteria. One is the introduction to theology, this basic thing. And another thing is the alliance ministry, which is teaching the students what the Christians and Missionary Alliance is talking about. And we founded, A.B. Simpson founded in 1887, is it? So that combines the Christian Tabernacle and the Mission School together as the Christians and Missionary Alliance. That was all about. And also we have something like a ministry skills criteria. It was like the spiritual formation and evangelism, community engagement, pastoral leadership, or something similar. So it is quite attractive if you are a Christian looking forward to have an American education, a certificate, or leading to the licensing at the Christian Missionary Alliance. So this is your choice. So I think
there's been some independent churches who would look. If you've been trained by them, that's good enough for us. We'll use it. We accept it. So there's a lot of folks like that.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you, Dr. Blewett, for the interview and your story that's sharing to all this audience. And I hope that if you found this video is helpful for you, please give me a like, or you can subscribe to my channel, and also you can share to the people who are able to, just looking forward to have some education and theological education, something like that. So you can share to the people. So, all right. So I think it's time to say goodbye to all the people. And I will talk with you on the other topics in the future. All right. Okay. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Thank you.